How's it going, everybody? Coach Jordan Hadlock of Hadlock's Baseball Academy. Excited to bring you free tutorial videos on quick fixes, quick faults, how to adjust this, how to work on that. I'm excited to be announcing this YouTube page where every Monday I'll be dropping free content. Check it out, give it a follow. Thank you. All right, guys, so this is what we're going to call tee work pitch depth. A lot of times when I have young people come in, or even my older guys, my high school kids and some college guys, we forget about the pitch depth that we need to be aware of, especially during our tee work. Our pitch depth is really important to work on the tee work so that we're not working on timing, we're not working on reading pitches. We want our body to be set up in the right place and space when we're doing our tee work. So when they're talking about tee work, we're setting up. By the time we take that front foot step, if you're a step guy, for pitches down the middle, we want that foot to be relatively even with the ball we're hitting, so that by the time we turn and make contact, the ball should be pretty much even with our front foot. We can give or take an inch or two here and there depending on a little bit in, a little bit out, but as relatively safe bet for middle pitches doing tee work, let's have that ball off the front foot. Now, if we're a non-step guy, just go ahead and get your stance set up so that that front foot is even with that middle pitch. All right, so when it comes to those inside and outside pitches, we want to make sure that we have our tees not only set up outside on the plate or inside on the plate, we want to make sure that they're set up proper depth-wise so that we're taking practice swings or our tee work swings that are letting the ball travel to that correct area in space. So our body, our central nervous system is aware of, hey, that's where that ball should be, or that's how deep that ball should travel, especially during front toss or live overhand. So when you're setting up your inside-outside tees here, my recommendation, especially for most young players and young guys that are starting out, let's set up so that our front foot starts on the outside tee. By the time we take that step, we should be back to the inside tee if it were still there. A great rule of thumb or a great body positioning point is if that ball's on the outside, by the time I make that turn with my hips and that ball's being made contact, that ball should be between my front knee and my front hip or right off our thigh. If we're hitting the inside pitches or we're working on inside baseballs, by the time we take that load step and we make that turn for contact, that ball should be anywhere from 8 to 10 inches out in front of our body or in front of our front foot, especially depending on the player's size and arm length and bat length. Make sure that when you're doing tee work, we're setting up these pitches in the correct depth based upon where they are, inside, middle, or away. So a great drill that you can do on your own, or if you have a partner, a player, a coach there, or mom, dad, whomever might be there to be able to help you, have them call out the pitch that you're going to hit. We don't get to decide when the pitcher's winding up, oh, this ball is going to be outside or it's going to be inside. We can kind of get some training scars when we're doing a lot of tee work. It's really nice to have either a teammate, a sibling, mom, dad, a coach, a friend, just call out the ball that they want you to hit when you're loading. So when we're loading back, right about here, that person that's with you should be calling out inside or outside. That way you're getting work on both inside pitches and outside pitches, making decisions in real time, as well as also checking your depth of pitch with your front foot placement. So by the time that front foot lands, for review, we should be in the middle ball or the ball that's down the middle of the plate. That inside pitch should be 8 to 12 inches, however far out in front of your front foot, obviously not too far so that we're reaching. And that outside pitch should be just about off of our front knee or our front hip or relatively our front thigh. So here's the drill. By the time you start and step, your foot should be on the outside. When you do step, it should be in the middle. So here it is. Outside. Then you just reload your ball. That way you still have to commit to that outside part of the plate. Outside. And then mix up that inside ball every once in a while just to make sure we're not getting outside minded only. Inside. So you'll notice on all those swings, front foot landed even or with the depth of the middle pitch, hands adjusted to the inside and outside baseballs.
Outside. Outside. Inside. Outside.
A great visual confirmation that we are hitting the baseballs in the correct part of the field, or at least hitting it where it's pitched, where it's been called quite a bit, is to watch from the behind you. If you have a camera, you can set it up on your bag, on a bucket, just to watch that ball flight off your bat to make sure that we are working not only the depth of pitch, but also that we're working on ball flight off a bat, making sure we're hitting in those correct areas. So for me, I'd like to have the whole field in my arena when we're hitting, especially with my guys that I want to teach. I want them to be line-to-line hitters. Do I want them driving the ball gap to gap? Absolutely. But we need to be able to spray the ball over the field on that 0-2 slider away, that hard two-seamer in, being able to pull it down the line with backspin. This is a great drill to help make sure that your coverage of the entire field is dialed in with your tee work. Make sure your setup, your front foot is even with the outside pitch. And by the time you step, you're in the middle of the plate or the ball that's down on the middle. Outside. Inside. Inside. Just check your ball flight off the tee work. Just make sure that you are keeping those baseballs on the outer half of the plate into the right center area, baseballs in the inner half of the plate into left center. And now we'll work on some middle plate stuff. All right, so we've worked on pitches down the middle, making sure that our front foot is even with those middle pitches or pitches in the middle of the plate. We've worked the inside-outside part as far as making sure the ball is the correct depth for inside and outside pitches. We've applied it in a stagnant setting. We've applied it in a decision-making setting with somebody calling it out or yourself calling it out. Now it's time to work on all three. This is more of an advanced drill. You got to be very cognizant of where your tees are, the depth, the height, and all that, because as you're swinging, you can accidentally hit those tees. So try to make them relatively even to each other. Obviously, this pitch here would not be boding well for the outside ball, because as we hit that outside pitch, we're going to smoke our middle tee. So just make sure your tees are relatively level to each other. You can work on all pitch elevations at the same time. You can work in a staggered stance from high to low, from outside to inside. It's your call, but make sure that you are working hard on that pitch depth selection, making sure that our front foot is in the right location or the right depth based upon the pitch.
Outside. Middle. Middle. Inside.
All right, here's a couple of photos of some big league guys hitting that ball at the proper depth. This is a photo of David Ortiz hitting an inside pitch. You can see that ball is pretty much about a foot, maybe 10 inches out in front of his front foot. This ended up being a homer into right field. Here's a photo of Mike Trout hitting that middle pitch even or in line with his front foot. This is also a homer over center. And then here's this last one of Bryce Harper. You can notice the pitch depth. It's a little hard to see, but it's really deep in the zone. It's in between his front knee and front hip. To me, it's right on his front thigh. And it also ended up being a homer over left field for him. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it helps you out in your upcoming season and gets you a little bit better this year. Please subscribe and like this video. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Look forward to seeing you again.